Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Narayan Narayan Narayan. So we are continuing Sugama. Okay. So in the question was answered. How can there be Dvaitam in Jnani? He says, no question of Dvaitam. No question of Dvaitam continuing in Jnani. Okay. Once we told, see, the basic principle has to be understood clearly. Dvaitam is not a real entity. There is no question of existing. First thing is no question of existing. Existing is only one. Existence is only one. The truth is only one. When the one truth is not understood, then you may see anything other than truth. The truth is one without a second. If that one is not understood or one is misunderstood, wrongly understood, in that misunderstanding, what is other than the oneness appears. Because if you see the oneness, then it is jnanam only. If there is only rope and you see the rope, no, there is no misunderstanding. And you won't see anything other than rope. But if the rope is missed, you may see anything except rope. If the rope is missed, similarly, if the truth is missed, non-dual Brahman is missed, then other than non-dual, anything appears. Other than non-dual is dual only, isn't it? Other than non-dual, only dual appears. So therefore, when the Vedanta says that this duality is due to misunderstanding, is due to Adhyasa, then and that Adhyasa is giving rise to all kinds of samsara. All samsara, the entire samsara. So the purpose is to understand the truth. And in understanding the truth, anything other than the truth is rejected. Is dismissed. Now the question comes, does that, what is within duality, what appears due to ignorance, does any element of ignorance remain in Jnani? It is like putting a question. Is there a duality for Jnani? Jnani means one who knows the truth, one who awakens to the truth. One who awakens to the truth. The question is putting like this, does any degree of ignorance remain for an enlightened person? Does any degree of darkness remain in the sun? The question is like this. Does the darkness continue to exist? Does the darkness continue to exist in the sunlight, in the daylight? In fact, the very question itself disproves the answer. That means question itself answers it. You don't need to answer because the answer is clear, evident. The whole purpose is to remove the darkness and come to your natural state. And once you discover yourself, where is the need to continue? All this question of prarabdha, duality, all this is from the standpoint of ignorance that we have already discussed in the last class, and the prarabdha and etc. All this is from the standpoint of karma kanda, because in karma kanda, in upasanas, there are various things. You leave the world and to go to another part of the world. Like in Vaikuntha and others, Brahmaloka, when you go in upasakas, there you go to another loka. Second thing is the worldly life which you are continuing. The body which you are in, it has to pass off. After this body ends, then only you go to the other world. So, in contrast with that, now the other people told, Upasakas told that the body which he is living in has to come to an end. And then only you will go to Brahmaloka. You can't go directly like that. Therefore, but in Jnana what happens? In Jnana also, does it happen the similar way? This doubt comes. But Jnana is totally different. Different from the Upasana. For the Upasaka, you are an individual. Your sense of individuality, your Jivatvam is a reality. Is an eternal, unnegatable reality. That the body is there is an unnegatable reality. Only thing is, your karma comes to an end, therefore body comes to an end. That's all in the Upasanas, in the Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Body is due to karma, and only when karma comes to an end, body ends. So you have to wait for the body to end. You have to wait for the prarabdha to come to an end. But in Jnana, now the question comes, in Jnana also it is like this? No, because Jnana is totally different. Jnana is totally different in the sense, the very Karya Karana Bhava, the cause and effect relationship, the time, the subject-object relationship, all this falls within a state, within an avastha, within avidya. When you come to that level, where you are free from avidya, all that within avidya will go away. So here, in Vedanta, what all we are going to include in avidya? If whatever is left out of avidya, then after gaining jnanam, all that will remain. All that is left out of avidya will remain. Now, have we excluded anything from avidya? So, cause and effect is included. Jiva Ishvara Bheda included. Time and place is included. Subject-object duality included. Body, sense organs, mind, the sense of individuality, any thought, all this is included in avidya, in Adhyasa. Then once that Adhyasa is understood as non-existent for Brahman, as non-existent for Brahman, that means it is inseparable from Brahman, there is nothing other than Brahman, then what will remain? Nothing can be talked of, because everything is only when you negate avidya, then everything goes away. Just like when you wake up from dream, what part of dream will remain and what part will go away? Nobody need to ask. Once you wake up, everything goes. Isn't it? Everything goes. Similarly here, the whole teaching, purpose of teaching is to liberate him from duality. So, but there are certain things we treat with respect. Like a disciple goes to Guru. Ishvara is there, we need Ishvara Anugraha, we have to pray to Ishvara. We have to pray to Ishvara, surrender to him and take his blessing. And Guru also. So, I am a disciple, I am an Ajnani, I am so as an Ajnani, as a sadhaka, you are in need of a blessing of a Guru, blessing of Ishvara, then you have to go on like that. So, to that person, a sadhaka, a seeker, a jignasu, a mumukshu, he has certain restrictions because still he is a limited being. Still he identifies with the body. Still he lives in the effect of cause and effect, in the relationship of cause and effect. Certain things affect him. The idea is he is in a vulnerable situation. He is an individual associated with body, mind and sense organs. He is vulnerable. Any person vulnerable has to take extra precaution. Take help of, take the blessing of Ishvara, blessing of Guru, because I am vulnerable. I need to, I depend upon the blessings, because I still go through the karma. Karma affects me. I am still under something. Then such a person, such a disciple, has to be very careful, isn't it? So he has to approach a guru. So therefore he has to approach a guru. Then from his standpoint, it is stated that, okay, Ishvara blesses you. Now, whatever question you put about Jiva, the same thing applies to Ishvara also. Does Ishvara see me? Why don't they ask this question? They say, does Jnani see the duality? Why don't they ask, does Ishvara see the duality? Does Ishvara see me as a separate? Does Ishvara see me as a Jiva? I am a Jiva. I am in samsara. Does Ishvara see me separate from him? If Ishvara doesn't see me separate, if Ishvara doesn't see me as existing as a Jiva, living as a Jiva, how can Ishvara bless me? This is what, in fact, dualists objected. According to Advaitin, if there is no world, no Jiva other than Brahman, then for the standpoint of Brahman, no Jiva, no world exists. So Brahman is not likely to, Brahman doesn't care for us. Because Brahman doesn't see me, neither me nor my samsara, nor my suffering, nor my ajnanam. He doesn't see. That means they think that, they misunderstand. They think like that they don't see. Ishvara doesn't see my problem. Therefore, even if I pray, how can he bless me? How can he bless me? Because Ishvara refuses to see any Jiva other than him. So the question, does Jnani see duality, applies to, does Ishvara see duality? Apply the question to Ishvara also. Does Ishvara see duality? But the Shastras say, God creates the world, God blesses the Jivas, God gives karma phala, God gives upasana phala, God facilitates your jnanam, He gives you guru, He allows you Vedanta study and Shravana, He facilitates your Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and also the rising of knowledge, dawn of knowledge, everything He facilitates. Then at the same time we say Ishvara is non-dual. If Ishvara is non-dual, then I become helpless. There is nobody to help me. I should suffer my own suffering. But if Ishvara sees my problem, that I am an ajnani, I am suffering, either I need karma phala or I need upasana phala. I want to do upasana and I want to get upasana phala. So there are different jivas. One is a karmata jiva who does punya and wants the result of punya. There is an upasaka jiva who wants to do upasana and wants to get the upasana result. There is a Vedantic jiva, mumukshu jiva. There is a jignasu jiva who wants to listen to Vedanta, do inquiry and gain jnanam and become free from samsara. So he needs Guru and Ishvara both. Because Ishvara alone makes all the facility for Guru and Shishya and the world and Vedanta and listening and Shravana. I am capable of listening, my health should be good, and then I should be able to live like a Vedantin. All these things. So Ishvara has to make facility. Now the question, does Ishvara see me, recognize me? If it doesn't exist, then who is to help me? Therefore the question, does jnana, does ajnana, does duality continue in jnani? This question equally applies to, does duality exist for Ishvara? Does duality exist for Ishvara? This question applies to Ishvara also. Whatever answer you give in one, the same answer you give in case of other also. Answer is same, question is same to both Ishvara and Jnani. Okay. If you get answer in one, you'll get automatically the answer in other. So, but here it is clear. Dvaita jnana sandoshita chittanam tu shishyanam kramena. Shishya who is steeped in ignorance. Shishya means karma kanda shishya, upasana kanda shishya, jnana kanda shishya. We take off all the three. So all the shishyas who are within ignorance means who are still subject to the laws of cause and effect. A cause and effect, still he is doing karma. He is going through, he is under the pressure of raga, dvesha, desires. All the desires are pressurizing me. I need to fulfill my desires. I need to have a good life here and I need to have a good heaven after death. I want to have a good life after death if I am still jiva living under ordinary jiva. worldly jiva. Or if I am a faithful jiva, I have to do some punya karma. Okay, a religious jiva, a faithful jiva, I have to do punya karma, then Ishvara's help is required. If I am an upasaka jiva, then I am little advanced than other jivas, advanced compared to other jivas, yet I need to do upasana. Then I need a Ishvara Saguna Rupa. Saguna Rupa, at least guna qualities I need. Vishwarupa Paramatma, I have to think of him, I have to meditate on him. Then my mind has to be purified and then made this thing. So made what you call a light and antarmukha and all that. So, and Ishvara has to bless me. He has to detach me from the physical body. And with that Sukshma Sharira, I have to assume a beautiful, a purified Brahmaloka body. Then I'll be taken to Brahmaloka and I will enjoy there. All this who has to do? Ishvara has to do. Then if I am a Jignasu, Vedantin, then I need a facilitation for Vedanta Vichara. Until the knowledge dawns and the entire Dvaitam is falsified. So if I am a Jiva like this, so from the standpoint of Jiva, the same non-dual Brahman appears as a Guru. The same non-dual Brahman appears as a me Jiva, appears as the world, appears as Ishvara, appears as a Guru, appears as an Ishvara. Ishvara who gives me karmapala, who runs this world, who provides a facility for doing punya karma, who gives me good thoughts, who gives me purification, who gives me good thoughts and good knowledge and good satsangatya. He gives me good company of good people for a karma kandi, for an ordinary jiva. So the same Ishvara provides all these things according to my karma. Then he provides a facility for upasana. He provides a facility for tattva vichara. Then until I gain jnanam, once I gain jnanam, then there is no Ishvara other than me, nor I exist as a jiva. Once I understand I exist neither as a jiva, neither I exist as a jiva, nor Ishvara exists as somebody other than me who needs to bless me. Because I am neither in a need of blessing, nor Ishvara blesses me, because Ishvara sees me as himself and I also see Ishvara. When Ishvara sees non-duality, when Ishvara sees the entire world and me as identical to himself, then if I discover that Ishvara, if I understand that Ishvara, I become Ishvara. That means I am same as Ishvara is. If Ishvara is free, then I am free. Whatever the qualities described to Ishvara, I am the same Ishvara. I am the same. Because the word I and you, all the words imply the same thing. Every word refers to Brahman alone. Whether you call you or whether you call I or whether you call he, she, it, any word you use, all the words refer to non-dual existence alone, the pure consciousness. All the words refer to Brahman alone. There, then who is to teach whom? All the words refer to Brahman. You see, the word book refers to Brahman. The word table, the word wall, the word phone, the word door, the word table, the word temple, the word book, the word tree, the word plant, the word animal, the word anything you take it, all the words refer to Brahman alone. The word disciple refers to Brahman, the word guru refers to Brahman, the word Vedanta refers to Brahman. All the words talk of only one consciousness. Every word refers to Brahman alone, implies Brahman alone. Every word, because every word refers to existence alone. Every word indicates existence, pure consciousness. Then every word refers to the same thing. Every perception refers to the same thing. Idea is all of them are falsified into one. This way of presentation implies that all of them are seen as one. Like all the waves are seen as water. Whether this wave, that wave, bigger wave, small wave, me wave, another wave, the in between distance, everything is seen as one water. Now, no question, no answer. Therefore, it is only assuming a duality. From the standpoint of Jiva, for sake of Jiva. For the standpoint of Jiva, for sake of Jiva, to help him, all this is talked about. Therefore, Ishvara blesses you, receives your prayers, answers your prayers, receives your upasana, answers upasana, receive your Vedanta vichara. Vedanta, Brahman allows himself to be inquired into. Okay? Brahman allows, but Brahman is non-dual, yet he allows himself to be inquired into. How? Assuming that there is duality. Assuming that there is ignorance and you are a jiva and Brahman is unknown. Within, assuming that Brahman is unknown, assuming that you are a jiva, assuming that you are ignorant, assuming that there is Vedanta, there is Guru teaching me and I am inquiring. All these are assumptions in the same Brahman. See, that I am ignorant is again kalpitam, is imagined in Brahman. That there is a Guru is imagined Brahman. That there is Vedanta, imagined Brahman. That I don't know Brahman is also imagined Brahman. That I need to understand Brahman. Brahman is a topic. Brahman is something I need to understand. It is yet to understand. Even that is imagination. In what? In same Brahman. So in ultimately one Brahman, all these are only assumptions within one non-dual Brahman. But within that assumption, these explanations are given to help you to transcend all these things or to understand how all these assumptions are false, irrelevant, meaningless. False, mithya means what? Mithya means what? False means it looks too meaningless. Once you wake up from dream, you talk about the dream events, you laugh at them because they don't make any sense. Okay? You are in trouble. Somebody is chasing you. You tell, after waking up from dream, you tell your somebody, oh, that police was chasing me and I am in a fire, or I have fallen into fire, or I feel hungry. Now you talk about, are you feeling hungry now? Come on, take food. You laugh at it because those dream experiences, dream words, dream problems all become irrelevant. Dream problems, you laugh at them because they don't exist. Dream problems become irrelevant. Dream needs, dream sufferings don't make any sense. Similarly, all this duality doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean anything, it's only laughable. So now duality doesn't make any sense. What you call duality doesn't exist. Where is the question? The very question that there is a duality, even to put a question, there is no duality. Therefore, it is for an ajnani, assuming it, you talk about it. And when the very assumption is undermined, gone then. So, Dvaita Jnana Sandoshita Chittanam to Shishyanam Kramena Bodhanaya. Idam Sarva Prakriya Rachanam. All this is a Prakriya. Prakriya means a way of teaching. Okay. Iti Natra Kinchid Asamanjasyam. Therefore, nothing is improper, nothing is inconsistent, nothing is untenable. Asamanjasam, samanjasam, asamanjasam. Nakinchit asamanjasyam. Therefore, whatever is used here, they are the tentatively assumed tools. That there is a guru, that you are an ajnani, you need Vedanta. Even that is an assumption. You are not really ajnani, you don't need Vedanta. Because you are already free. So that you are an ajnani, that you need Vedanta, you need to inquire, you need to understand. Even this, under the assumption you are working. But once you understand it is only assumption, I am not ignorant, then you laugh at it. Oh, I am not ignorant, I don't need Vedanta and all that. Because there is no Vedanta. Vedanta is Vedanta only when you need it. Anything for that matter. Anything, food is a food as long as you are hungry. When you are not hungry, what is food for a person who is dead? What is food for a person who is not even born? What is water for a person who is dead? So, food is food only when you are hungry. Water is water only when you are thirsty. When you are not, what does it mean? Similarly, asamanjasyam means all that becomes meaningless. All when all these questions, or any question you put about Vedanta, any question looks laughable, looks meaningless, then you have understood Vedanta. Because you exist, you come to such a stage, such an anubhava where none of these questions make any sense. None of this question makes any sense to you because you stand as non-dual Brahman. Like when you wake up from the dream, no question of a dream, no problem of a dream, nothing works there, nothing makes any sense to you. Once you wake up, nothing of a dream makes any sense, because they don't exist at all. To whom? To the waking person. To the waking person, all dream comes to naught. Similarly, all this comes to naught to a non-dual being. If it has not come, if the argument, question, all these things become serious to you, they become relevant to you, that means still ajnana is there, still samsara is there. When all of them look meaningless, they don't make any sense, isn't it? When they don't make any sense, then they know nothing to answer. Just for sake of fun, we would ask generally like this: how many kilograms and quintals is Delhi from Holinarspura? See, I am in Holinarspura. So, from this Holinarspura, how many kilos or how many quintals is Delhi from here? If you listen, what did you say? If he has not heard the question, to make sure, he asks the question, what did you say? Repeat the question, please. He says, how many kilograms or how many quintals is Delhi from Holinarspura? He understood. He laughs at it. He doesn't answer because your question is meaningless, irrelevant. The distance cannot be measured through kilograms. Okay, that means question debunks itself. Question itself is false. So no answer is required, isn't it? Or another question. Somebody told you passed away, that means you got expired. Expired means you dead, you were dead. Now, but I am seeing you, when did you come back again? If somebody asks what you say, you laugh at it, you don't answer because the question is meaningless. I just gave you one or two examples where all the questions, all the arguments, all the logic, illogical, anything, beliefs, everything looks irrelevant. Everything looks irrelevant to the fact which you are. You are non-dual Brahman, non-dual pure existence consciousness. There no question makes any sense to you. Then all the questions are answered. That is the only way of answering the questions. If you answer through concept, through logic, and the person is trying to listen only through concept, people want to answer in a concept. They want to understand how Brahmajnani looks at the world, how they want to understand through concept. Does anybody understand? Does any Pramata understand what is Brahmajnanam? Does any Waker understand what is deep sleep? Waker can never understand what is deep sleep, because Waker himself is a denial of deep sleep. Waker himself is a denial of deep sleep. How can he understand? Unless he stands as a deep sleep. So similarly, all the questions are answered. Okay, all the questions to help the person to see how the question is meaningless, how the question is irrelevant. The answer is not to answer your question. Answer is to show you how your question is irrelevant, how your question itself makes sense. No, doesn't make any sense. How your question is a wrong assumption. Such a thing doesn't exist. Your assumption is wrong. Question requires an assumption. The assumption is opposite to the fact. It is not there. There is no ground for the question. There is no basis for the question. It is something like simply you say, hey, when did he come? When did he come? There are only two people. And he says, hey, when did the third person come? People say, where is the third person? He says, when did he come? You answer my question. When did the third person come? Nobody came. There is no third person at all. Where is the question of coming? And he says, you are not answering. Tell me, when did the third person come? And he says, where is the third person? You and me, we two alone are. No, when did the third person come? Tell me. There is no basis for your question. Nobody came. Your question has no basis. What answer can you give? Understanding that your question assumes something. Your question proceeds from an assumption. Root out the assumption. Break the assumption. Show him the very assumption is not there. Question automatically collapses. Question automatically becomes irrelevant, meaningless. This is called falsifying. Falsifying means what? Falsifying means what? This is what is falsifying. If you don't falsify this way, the question haunts you. I tell you, haunts you. And whom are we trying to convince? There is no other person whom to convince. Do we need to convince somebody? If you think that I need to convince somebody, that means I stand as a pramata and see another person. When I stand myself as a pramata, I can't convince anybody because I myself am not convinced. When I myself stand as a pramata, pramata itself means denying the non-duality. Not convinced, then who will convince others? So, any person who is free from pramata, any guru himself transcends and free from pramata, how does he teach? Teach means he doesn't teach, but there are some sentences seem to be coming from our standpoint. Certain sentences are coming. Certain expressions are coming. And we can only see that certain sentences, words and expressions, certain teaching is coming. And that teaching is coming only to deny your pramatrutvam, reject, negate your pramatrutvam. So how does he answer? He answers by dismissing you as a pramatru, not by retaining you as a pramatru. By retaining you as a pramata, he can't answer. And then it doesn't need to retain you. You are already pramata. Where is the question of retaining you? So, you are retaining pramatrutvam, that you are a pramata, that itself he debunks. Okay. Now, people, instead of debunking their own pramatrutvam, they are asking, does Jnani have pramatrutvam? Don't ask about Jnani. Do you have pramatrutvam? That is a real question. They say, does Jnani see duality? Question, do you see duality? That's an important question. In fact, there is no duality for you. Whom are you questioning? The person whom you are asking is in your own imagination. There is nobody. There is nobody to answer your question or listen to your answer. There is nobody person with whom you are arguing. The other person, you imagine that there is other person and me and other, all this is your assumption. There is somebody listening to me, I have to answer, and I am a questioner and he is answering, or he is a questioner and I am answering. This very duality itself is a wrong assumption. Is it there first? First you question that. So instead of asking whether Jnani sees the duality, do I see the duality? Do I stand as dual? First you see this. You question the thing. Then you will understand what is Jnani like. Not understanding Jnani, you are Jnani, then that is understanding. Understanding Jnani is you be Jnani, and then you understand Jnani. That's a simple way. And not only simple, that's the only right way, and there is no other way of understanding. You stand as Jnani, and then you understand the Jnani, what Jnani is like. It is like you understand Sushupti, and you be in Sushupti, and you understand what is Sushupti. Being waker, you try to understand what is deep sleep. In deep sleep, where was the waking world? This is a good question. People ask, where was the waking world when I was in deep sleep? Will you ever understand that question? Because as long as you are waker, you won't see what is deep sleep. And to the waker, deep sleep cannot be understood. You are in sleep. Be in deep sleep. There is no questioner. There is no waker. All answers are found. All answers are there. Similarly, just to see the question itself is false, or the very argument is false. It's a meaningless thing. You assume, trying to retain the assumption that me and other, retaining the assumption, holding on to the assumption stubbornly, I must answer this question, I must answer. That itself is samsara, that itself is adhyasa. Okay, holding on firmly to the duality is Adhyasa. It itself is an assumption. You are holding on to Adhyasa, holding on to the assumption, and that assumption, then which answer can convince that assumption? Therefore, Vedanta is for mumukshu. That means all Vedantic answers apply to mumukshu, because all the answers are meant to dismiss your question. Dismiss means pull out the basis of your question. Show how your very question is wrong. See, Vedanta is adhyaropapavada. That means assume and pull out your assumption. Break your, first you assume, and second step try to show how your very assumption is wrong. That's all. Vedanta is showing how your very foundation, samsara, foundation of samsara, the very assumption is wrong. It is trying to show. You look at it. You look at it. How beautiful it is. How free you are. Instantly you are free. All problems are gone. Then they say, okay, if I understand that I am Brahman, if I become Jnani, how will I teach others? This is a question. Interesting question. They question like this. Swamiji, if I become Jnani, if I listen to Vedanta and do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, when I become Jnani, when I remove my ignorance, then how will I teach my disciple? Ayyo, Papa. If I become Jnani, if I don't see my disciple, how will I teach my disciple? You are worried so much. Yo, Papa. You won't be able to see your disciple. You won't become Guru, you are worried about that. You will not become Guru, then how will I teach? Therefore, I want to be Guru. Do you want to be Guru, or you want to be Guru? You want to be Brahman, which is free from Guru Shishya. Do you want to become Guru to be able to teach disciple, or you want to be free from the very duality of Guru and Shishya, neither Guru nor Shishya, and just want to be Brahman? Find out. Whichever you want, you will get it. After all, freedom to you. Everybody is free. If you want to be Guru, but don't want to be free from duality of Guru and Shishya, okay? You don't want to be free from Guru and Shishya? No, I want to become Guru. How can I be free from Guru Shishya? Gurutvam. I want to be Guru and teach somebody. Okay? So you don't want to become free from Guru and Shishya relationship. Guru and Shishya duality. If I become free from Guru and Shishya reality, how can I teach? How can I tell others that I am a Jnani, I have become Vedantin, I understood, I'll teach you. People say, I am a Jnani, come on, I'll teach you. The question is like this. In our childhood, we used to have this joke. Boys were sleeping. So when the boys have gone to deep sleep or not, how do we know? How to test? These days you have got a lot of electronic gadgets and all, you test them. But in those days there were not gadgets. So there were simple way of testing. Then somebody suggested, why don't we ask the boys themselves whether are they sleeping or not? They told, come on, you lift your hand. School boys, come on, lift your hand. Whoever has gone to deep sleep, lift your hand. Then we will come to know that you are in deep sleep. None of them lifted. Because boys were put to sleep, light was switched off, and only teacher was standing there after a while, and he put a question. Come on, let us know who has gone to deep sleep. Whoever has gone to deep sleep, raise your hand. Only one boy raised a hand. None of them raised the hand. Then the teacher understood only one boy has gone to deep sleep. Nobody else. Isn't it interesting? Only one boy has gone to deep sleep. All other fellows are still awake, not gone to sleep. He got first prize. Okay? Then the next day in the function, only one boy gone to deep sleep. All other boys were not at all sleeping. They were awake. Tell me, isn't it interesting? A person who is in deep sleep should tell that I am in deep sleep by raising his hands. He should show, make an indication to others. But other boys, they were unable to lift their hand, therefore that means they have not gone to deep sleep, therefore they didn't raise their hands. They didn't go to deep sleep. But only one boy has gone to deep sleep, therefore he heard the question of teacher and answered, yes, sir, I am in deep sleep. Please note my name. I am in deep sleep. Yes, I have noted your name. Come on, tell me your name once again. You tell me your spelling. Okay. I'll remember you. I'll give you first prize tomorrow. And is the only person who got first prize for going into deep sleep and telling that I am in deep sleep. So, you want to go to deep sleep or you want to tell others that you are in deep sleep? Choose whichever you like. Okay. So here now we are in the last leg. I think we'll in 5 to 10 minutes we'll conclude it. There is nothing much in it. Only some quotations and Mangalacharana. Shall we conclude today? Yeah, we'll conclude Sugama today in another 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, it's already 41 minutes. Why unnecessarily dragging? We'll conclude it so that we can start Mula Vidya Nirasa, which is a real great book, first book of Swamiji. Magnum opus, we call them in English. Magnum opus means the best book, highest book. Yataha Bhagavan Bhashyakara. Now, after explaining Swamiji, after giving answer directly, is just quoting Shankara's words and then Gaudapada words in confirmation of his answer. What is that? Ekasmin Brahmani Nirupadike na upadesho na upadeshta na upadesha grahana phalam. In one non-dual Brahman, neither there is a teacher, Nirupadike Brahmani. Neither there is a teacher, nor there is a upadeshta. Upadesha, neither there is teaching, nor there is a teacher, nor there is a upadesha grahana phalam, the result of receiving the teaching. Because all of them are under one assumption, that I am an ajnani, that I am an individual, I am in need of moksha, I am in need of understanding the truth. So under that assumption, he does all these things. Okay. Therefore, once teaching is understood, that means the very assumption is dismissed. Nothing is there. So Gaudapada statement, Prapancho yadi vidyeta nivarteta na sanshayah maya matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthataha. If there were, English expression is Prapancho yadi vidyeta. If there were world really, then the question of it going out, it is removed, would arise. If the question were, there were world really, then we would think of breaking it and destroying it. When there is no world at all, where is the question of removing? There is no snake at all. People say, drive it out, kill it. Somebody said, no, don't kill it, drive it out. No, we should be ahimsa, we should follow, we should not kill it. Somebody told, if you drive out, it may come back again. Oh, yes, there is every likelihood to come back again. No, don't allow it, kill it. But if you kill it, the others, government comes to know that you have killed an animal and they will act. What will you do? After killing, we'll throw away somewhere. Somebody told, first you find out whether there is a snake or not. All these answers come later. He says, no, we have to first find out after killing, what should we do with the snake? Should we remove the dead body? Should we burn it? Or should we drive it out instead of killing it? Tell us, what should we do? All these questions, they have been disputing. What will happen? What will happen after the killing of the snake? What will happen after driving it out? Then you have to clean the area, because if you kill it, some blood may fall and the place becomes dirty. You have to clean it and all, then bring some soap and water and everything. They say, no, you can't use the soap here. It is some place, some delicate place, and you can't. Somebody told, first you switch on the light, all the thing goes away. Switch on the light. Then what happened? Hey, did you drive it out? Did you kill it? Where will you throw? Did you kill it? Did you drive it out? What did you do? Where is the snake? Tell me. Abba, there is no snake. Hey, come on, don't answer. Tell me, where did you put the snake? Where did you throw it? Where did you throw it? No question. There is light and there is only rope. Similarly, Prapancho yadi vidyeta. If there were the world, then you think of removing, driving it out and all. Maya matramidam dvaitam. All this is only Maya. Assumption. Maya means assumption. Advaitam paramarthatah. Really there is only one non-dual. Vikalpo vinivartet. Then what about Guru Shishya duality? Vikalpa means the Guru Shishya duality. Yadi kenachit. If somebody really brought it into being that there is a guru and there is a disciple, if those were really existed, then you think of removing it. They never existed. Where is the question? Upadeshadayam vare. Before you gain the knowledge, before you understand it, that under the assumption all these are assumed. Gurutva, Shishyatva and teaching, these are assumed under the same assumption. But when the assumption is debunked, then all the assumed points automatically go away. The assumption, within the assumption, all these points. When the very assumption is dismissed as non-existing, then all these things cease to exist on their own. Jnate dvaitam na vidyate. Ah, beautiful. In Jnate, there is no dvaitam. Only after knowing alone, dvaitam goes away, not that. Dvaitam never existed even before. Where is the question of going? Neither before, nor now, nor will go later. Etena bhranti badayor astitva nastitva vikalpanamapi pratyuktam veditavyam. Then bhranti, bada, that there is a bhranti, that there is a bada. All these things are also same. They are all assumptions. Okay. So tayorapi adhyasa drishyaiva sattva. They only presented from the standpoint of adhyasa, but in actual paramarthika they don't exist. Okay. Paramarthatascha anangikarat kim bahuna yadyadakshipyate atra prakriyayam. In short, now the final sentence, one answer. Whatever is assumed, whatever is taught in Vedanta, anything, one word, starting word to the last word, whatever is uttered, all that is, whatever question, whatever objection, whatever question put, whatever objection raised, and whatever answer given, all these things are tadubhayamapi adhyaropa drishyaiva. All this is from the standpoint of Adhyasa. Means assuming, Adhyaropa means assuming that there is duality, all this question, answer, etc. go on. Okay. Okay. Questions, answers, etc. all of them are assumed. Question the very assumption. Remove the very assumption. Retaining the assumption, if you keep on struggling, you will be struggling because you are only strengthening the assumption. Rather than debunking the assumption, you are strengthening the assumption. Therefore, tayorapi yadyad akshipyate sat sarvam adhyaropa drishyaiva shishya vitpadanartam. Shishyatvam is also a tentative, assumed state. There is no shishya. That I am a disciple, that I am a seeker of truth is only an assumed one. Natu vastavikatvam abhipretya. Not by accepting that there is a real disciple there and there is a really guru there and real teaching is required. Nobody assumes them as real. Okay. Adhyasa Bhashya Saraha. This is the essence of the entire Sugama, entire Adhyasa Bhashya. Okay. In one sentence, we have told everything, summarized it, entire thing and concluded it. Therefore, ataha yevahu sampradayika adhyaropapavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. Therefore, through adhyaropapavada alone, the nishprapancham Brahma is taught. Okay. 71 passage is over. The last 72 passage is a conclusion one. Upasamharaha. It is a conclusion. I'll just read out and there is nothing more to explain, just to conclude the text. Tadevam sarvepi vedantaha atmaikatva vidya pratipattyaye arabhyante. In the last sentence of Bhashya, atmaikatva vidya pratipattyaye, to gain the knowledge of the non-dual Brahman. Atmaikatva, that Atman is one alone. All the Vedantas come into existence. Begin means all the Vedantas go about teaching. Vidyayascha phalam samsaranartha hetu avidyayaha prahanam. Then the Vidya's result is, the result of knowledge, the purpose of knowledge is to debunk the very, to dismiss the very question, to disprove the very question, not dismiss, disprove, let us say. To disprove the very question, the basis of question you disprove. Okay. Tadetad ubhayam atra sharirika mimamsayam. Here you see what is avidya and how to disprove the avidya. This is the main topic of the entire Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. Sharirika Mimamsayam Nyayato Nirneshyate iti Suchitam. This will be logically explained and proven in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, entire Brahma Sutra book. Therefore, Athato Brahma Jignasa. So this first sutra says, what are we going to discuss in the whole book? So the first sutra is an introductory sutra. In the of this first sutra, this Adhyasa Bhashya is an Upodghata, preface to it. First sutra is an introductory sutra, and Adhyasa Bhashya is Shankaracharya's preface to that introduction. So this sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa Sutra, teaches this, Atracha Vidyaya Prahatavyattvena Sutrita Yeyam Avidya. So that avidya, which is taught as something that is going to be negated, that needs to be negated by knowledge. What is the nature of avidya that needs to be negated? That is, what is the nature of avidya is in our anubhava. So to this question, answer was given in the Upodghata, in the preface of Shankaracharya, that avidya is nothing but satyanrutayoho mithunikaranam anyonya adhyasa. Atma, anatma, one is true and another is false. This true and false Atma, Anatma are mutually exchanged. Anyonya Adhyasa. Mutually, one is taken as another. And that's how we find it. That is the experience of people. The Vidya, what is Vidya? Only by doing Viveka, by separating this. Atmano Advitiya Brahma. Atma is understood as a non-dual consciousness and Anatma is just a false. False in the sense, for not understanding Brahman, Anatma appears to be there, otherwise Anatma has no existence. In its real nature, Anatma is also Brahman only. The so-called Anatma is also, in its real nature, is Brahman only. Nirdharita meveti vishayadayaviyatum. So to this, Ayam Bhagavato Bhashya Sandarbha. To explain what is the nature of avidya, this entire Adhyasa Bhashya Shankaracharya discussed. Okay, Sakala Shastra Upodghata Rupaha. This is a preface. This constitutes the preface of entire Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Tathacha Vyakhyatam Asmabhihi. Therefore, we means Sachidananda Swamiji also explained accordingly. That means avidya is Anyonya Adhyasa. Atmanatmanon Anyonya Adhyasa. Okay, now this is the conclusion. Last, there are 4 shlokas. Shloka is, this is our tradition that, and the ending prayer. One is a beginning prayer, another is ending prayer. Beginning prayer, 2 shlokas, we have discussed long before, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I don't remember. How many years? I have to see how many years we have taken. 270, 72 or 74 pravachanas, 75 pravachanas. So, and then last shlokas I'll just read out. Adhyastamrutamanadi prapanchoyam parahpuman. Okay. Adhyasta Amruta. Adhyasta Matrumanadi Prapanchoyam Parahpuman. This world, Adhyasta Prapancha consists of Pramata, Pramana and Prameya. Okay. Parahpuman Swatassiddhascha. And the Parapurusha. Parapurusha means one who transcends all these things. One who is beyond Pramatru, Pramana, Prameya. Means Brahman himself, the consciousness is neither Pramata, nor Pramana, nor Prameya. There is no, this relativeness doesn't exist, is a non-relational. Non-relational is self-existing. Non-dual and self-existing. Therefore, it is Swatassiddhascha, Sarvatma. And it is Sarvatma, it is everybody's Atma. It is not away from you, it is not outside you. It is very much you. It is everybody's self. Sarvatma. Shankara Shruti Gocharaha. And this Sarvatma is what Shruti teaches. And by knowing it, you become Shankara. Shankara Shruti Gocharaha. Shankara means it. Sham is Shantam Sukham Anandam. It does the Ananda. Aham Dehi. First sloka is over. Then the second sloka. Aham Dehi Swecha Kalita Vishayagrahi Karanaha. Tatha Karta Bhokta Avivida Phalavat Karma Nirataha. Sukhi dukhi jirno maranamupaganteti tamasa vimudho lokoyam samiha pararupam stagadayati. The ignorant people. In the Adhyasa, in ignorance, they see all these things. Because of these things, they deny themselves their Brahmatvam. They prevent seeing themselves to be Brahman. How this nature of ignorance is, this first shloka he says how the nature of ignorance is. The worldly people cover their own higher nature with ignorance in the form of misconception and take themselves to be Jiva and also take themselves to be an embodied being and also having sense organs and perceiving the external world. And also you choose certain objects of the world and you engage in the works. That means you take yourself to be pramata and seeing some objects of the world. Take yourself to be karta and carry out karma. And take yourself to be bhokta and come to experience certain experiences of pain and pleasure. Okay. And you also think that one day I shall die and now I am alive, and when I am born and I am alive now and one day I will die. All this thinking is within that wrong assumption alone, within that adhyasa only. Okay. Satyam jnanam anantamekam. Second shloka is over. That means what is that nature of ajnana? Adhyasa state, he explained it. Now, Satyam jnanam anantamekam amalam sarvatma bhutam chayat swatmastam sadapiha naichamagamam mithya manisha jusham jignasyam jagatosya karanamiti trayantameyam chayat nirdishyapa vadanti neti nigamastat shankaram swammaha. So, how does Vedanta teach? Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. This sarvatma bhutam yat brahma. That it teaches. For not knowing it alone, people have fallen into this samsara and suffering. Mithya manisha jisham. So jignasyam, therefore, because of that false ignorance, means he assumes that he is in that ignorance and he thinks that I am not Brahman and he becomes a jignasu. And so jagatosya karanam, and Brahman is the karanam, trayantam evayat. So Vedanta helps me. Then Vedanta comes to help me. Oh, all this is false and you are Brahman. Oh, and that Ananda Swarupam. This is the teaching of Shankara. This is what Shankara taught. Now the last shloka, Ekam Tattvam Yadiha Sakalam Drishyate Shruyate Va. Therefore, there is only one truth. Okay? There is only one non-dual truth. And other than that, whatever we see, Ekam Cha Tattvam Yadiha Sakalam Drishyate Shruyate Pya. Whatever we are seeing and hearing and etc., subject, object, duality, all that. Satyam Satyam Taditi, all that is inseparable from non-dual Brahman. Shravayat Vedavakyam. Vedavakyam Tattvamasi, that Chandogya Vakyam teaches you that you are Brahman. That the duality which you are seeing is all that doesn't exist apart from you as a Brahman. So this Upanishad teaches. And Bhashya Vyakhyam Vimurusha. If you don't understand, read the Bhashya. And if Bhashya is not enough, read the explanation of the Bhashya by other acharyas. Sugama, then read the Sugama. If you feel that Bhashya is not enough for you to understand, then study Sugama also. Sugama means the Swamiji's commentary. Etad arthavagatya. To understand the Upanishadic statement that you are Brahman, read Bhashya, Adhyasa Bhashya. If you can't understand, with the help of take help of the Sugama and you will understand. Mula Vidyam Jahi. But don't keep Mula Vidya, assuming the very Mula Vidya itself is extension of your samsara. Therefore, Jahihi, give up the very Mula Vidya. Vitatam Satchidananda Drishtya. Here he is using a pun, which is so prevalent, Mula Vidya, which is prevalent among the Vedantins. You give up this Mula Vidya and listen to Adhyasa Bhashya and Sugama. How? With Satchidananda Drishtya, here is a pun. Satchidananda Drishtya means one is from the standpoint of teaching of Satchidanandendra Swamiji's teaching, Satchidananda Drishtya. By taking a standpoint, by taking help of teaching of Satchidanandendra Swamiji, you give up Mula Vidya Nirasa. Or another is, taking the Satchidananda Drishti means taking the Anubhava Drishti. Then you don't find any Mula Vidya at all. Satchidananda Drishti is Atma Drishti. So that last word Swamiji used is a pun, is a shlesha, we call in Sanskrit shlesha. Shlesha means having a double meaning. Okay, thus ends. Swamiji says, Srimat Pujyapada Shankara Bhagavat Charana Nirantara Smarana. Sachidananda Swamiji says, he somehow Swamiji felt that Shankara is alive in his Bhashya. Shankara is alive in the form of his Bhashya. Bhashya is Shankaracharya's avatar. Therefore, he thought Bhashya himself is Shankaracharya's avatar. With all so much of love and respect and Shraddha and Bhakti, he would do Shankara Bhashya. He would study Shankara Bhashya that way. Therefore, Pujyapada Shankara Bhagavat Charana Smarana. By continuously remembering the Shankara's holy feet, Niranasana Parichayavapta Vedanta. By continuously remembering Shankara Smarana means by continuously surrendering his mind with all respect and love and veneration. Through that alone, he came to understand the knowledge of Shankara Bhashya. Pavapta Vedanta Praveshena. That way he got entry into Shankara Vedanta. He got entry into Shankara Vedanta, and that's how, with Shankara's anugraha, Shankara's blessing alone, he come to understand Shankara's true meaning. Okay? Sachidananda Saraswati Bhikshuna Nirmita. And this Sugama, one who got this knowledge by the blessing of Shankara, he is Sachidanandendra Swamiji Bhikshu. Bhikshu means a monk, a religious monk. Sachidanandendra Saraswati Bhikshuna Nirmita Sugama Vyakya. This commentary called Sugama. Sugama means a place where you can make an easy entry, a spot, a delicate spot, a tender spot where you can. He compares Vedanta is like a fort. In the fort, there is one gate where it is a sensitive part where you can easily enter into the fort. Therefore, Sugama is a easy spot. It's a sensitive part where you can go easily enter into the fort. Swamiji translates this way. Sugama means a sensitive part, a delicate part where it is easy to you can make an entry into the fort. Otherwise, Vedanta is a very big fort, very difficult, you can't enter. So, Sugamakyam Vyakyam Samapti Magamat. This Sugama commentary has come to an end. Okay? There is one portion. In between, one small portion is a technical. I left out. I told that we will discuss later because it's a more of a logic rather than Vedanta, more of an argument rather than Anubhava Drishti. But anyway, since it is there in the part of it, we have to discuss. We'll discuss it in the next class. It may take one class, mostly one class alone, and then we will begin Mula Vidya Nirasa. One class of Sugama is there. All the book is completed. One portion I will have left out. I'll tell you the page number, one page number. Anyway, I'll tell you next class. Which page number? Some page we have left out without explaining it. Gaunairapaha. Anyway, I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll search and tell you. Somewhere it was we left out. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.